Joining us this evening is Rudy Giuliani, the president's attorney, former mayor of New York City, federal prosecutor, and now leading the fight for a free and fair election. Rudy, great to have you with us. Let's start with where are you now? Where is the campaign in Pennsylvania?
Well, I'm in Washington now. The campaign in Pennsylvania. The judge is considering all the papers that he's been given, so he'll take a few days to decide on what the next step is. Today we had some significant victories. We had a significant victory yesterday in Nevada, where a five-member county board of elections in Clark County, which covers Las Vegas, decertified as the winner a Democrat replaced with a Republican based on irregularities. So those are the same irregularities that we have, except only maybe 1/5 of them, because he only was running in about 1/5 of the district. And the irregularities there have to do with the signatures being improperly identified. Many signatures that were improperly identified, to the point that it would easily, if the same criteria is applied to the Trump campaign as the 5 Democrats applied to that campaign, it would pretty easily overturn the election.
Well, in Pennsylvania, you also had another positive development as well, in which, what was it, about 8,000 illegal ballots. You want to toss them out. The Supreme Court is going to hear that case. That's very positive. The issue of also observers in Pennsylvania, the suggestion that observers don't have to watch, they just simply have to be present. That seemed to be the conclusion of the court. Was that your takeaway?
Lou, of all the political decisions and the kind of awful things judges have to do when they act like political hacks, this may be the worst. The law of Pennsylvania says that when you're counting these ballots, you must have both Republicans and Democrats present. So when we were thrown out en masse, we went to court. And the first judge, a Democrat appointed in Philadelphia, said, well, you're present. You don't have to see. Well, because that's ridiculous. What's the point of being there? We're not there for fun. We're not there to, play video games. Mm-hmm. So then it went up on appeal. And to her credit, or their credit, that panel, which was also Democratic, said, well, present has to have meaning. They have to be able to see, observe, like in all the other 49 states. And finally, we went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, 5-2, voted that all they have to do is let you in the room. And you could be 1,000 feet away, it doesn't matter, as long as you're in the same room. Making
Which was quite
the
a different decision.
And the law absurd, ridiculous, irrational, stupid, dumb. And Pennsylvania is now the only state in the country, and in fact, even contrary to the law of Tanzania, it doesn't allow inspection of mail-in ballots. So this is a ridiculous decision. I want you to guess, Lou, if it was 5-2, how many were Democrats and how many were Republicans? Just guess.
Unfortunately, that has been the pattern we've seen in court after court, and it's terrible. It's also it's made a laughing stock out of the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, who said there's no such thing as a Bush justice and a Obama justice. They're just, exactly. The American people are getting a little tired of being treated like slow-witted children. It's nonsensical. It's an insult, and indeed, this whole fraud is an insult against this country. I want to share with the audience one of the affidavits that has been given to us by an unidentified whistleblower, and it pertains to Dominion, a whistleblower who also saw what happened in Venezuela, and the very similar events that took place in the United States on November 3rd. If we could put this up, please, to share with the audience, because it is indeed alarming. The whistleblower says this, if we ever get it up. I am alarmed because of what is occurring in plain sight during this 2020 election for President of the United States. The circumstances and events are eerily reminiscent of what happened with Smartmatic software, electronically changing votes in the 2013 presidential election in Venezuela. What happened in the United States was that the vote counting was abruptly stopped in 5 states using Dominion software. At the time that vote counting was stopped, Donald Trump was significantly ahead in the votes. Then, during the wee hours of the morning, when there was no voting occurring and the vote count reporting was offline, something significantly changed. When the vote reporting resumed the very next morning, there was a very pronounced change in voting in favor of the opposing candidate, Joe Biden. That, from a whistleblower who was present both in Venezuela in 2013 and in this country as we were counting votes overnight on November 3rd. Your thoughts?
Well, Lou, I don't know if people can appreciate this, but I think when they do, they're going to be outraged. Our votes in 27, 28 states that are counted by Dominion and calculated and analyzed, they're sent outside the United States. And they're not sent to Canada, they're sent to Germany and Spain. And the company counting it is not Dominion. It's Smartmatic, which is a company that was founded in 2005 in Venezuela for the specific purpose of fixing elections. That's their expertise, how to fix elections. They did it a number of times in Venezuela, they did it in Argentina, and they messed up an election to a fairly well in Chicago. And there's a whole congressional record that you can go look at about what a terrible company this is. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the company that was counting and calculating on election night. And they did all their old tricks.
Well,
they stopped it.
Yeah.
They also switched votes around subtly, maybe 10 per district so you don't notice it. They got caught in Antrim County, which is how we found out about them. And we are in the process now of investigating this in great detail. But I mean, just the mere fact that we have a foreign country, we have this in a foreign country, done by friends of an enemy of the United States, Maduro, is outrageous and has to stop immediately.
It's outrageous, and it's all the more outrageous because Dominion and Smartmatic were denied use in the state of Texas, which called them out for what they are. They have a clear record. Democratic senators sending letters in 2019, joining with Republicans now in decrying the reliability and the ability of that system to avoid manipulation and fraud. Without any one of these secretaries of state in various states responding and shutting them down.
Well, Lou, the amazing thing is, Carolyn Maloney, a congresswoman from Manhattan, wrote a letter in 2006, 2007, explaining everything I just said. We shouldn't be using this company that was founded by Chavez to call votes in America because their specialty in Venezuela is cheating. Well, apparently the governors signed them up and never bothered to do any due diligence of any kind. Also, the company Dominion is a far-left, radical company. Some of their people have written and tweeted the worst things about Trump and Republicans that you could possibly imagine. They've since taken it down, but we have it. So we've got a very radical, far-left company with some of their high-level people supporters of Antifa. Can you believe that? And they're using a Venezuelan company as the vote counter, which is known for changing votes, and also known to have the most insecure computers in this business. I think you'd only pick them.
We're going to have to
because you want to cheat.
We're going to have to wrap here. You get the last quick word here.
I was going to say, you know, the conclusion you have to come to is you either pick them because you're grossly negligent or you don't mind if you're cheating. And they're only going to cheat in one direction. After all, the chairman of Smartmatic is very, very close to none other than Mr. Soros. So how do you think they're going to cheat? They're going to cheat Democratic. They're going to cheat left wing. They're going to cheat radical. That's what they are.